All right, we're here today to talk about the Stack Daddy Fitness Planner built in Java. And I'll start out just by going over the code a little bit here. We have the main file, which opens up a JFrame, and then it has this public method which switches the view, and it basically removes the old view and imports the new view. We have some classes here. Um, Most of them are kind of data classes like exercise, split, stack, and workout. And then I have a view class and a partial view class, which extends to JPanels. And then we implement some of the information into them. I built some component classes which are kind of like they're kind of like partial views as well, but I was using them for things that can be repurposed over and over. So you have like an exercise drop down, split drop down, workout drop down, which are used multiple times throughout, along with the main header, the sidebar, and the panel navigation, which I will show you when we open up the program. Controllers, I have a database controller which handles most of the data interactions with the database. So creating exercises, workouts, splits, and the stack, as well as getting that information back from the database so that we can utilize it in the views. And then I do have the login controller um, by itself because I had just started doing that separately. Then we have two layouts here. One is the main panel layout, which has the sidebar and the top banner, and then the uh, the content panel layout, which is just kind of where that's mostly where we're moving in and out of those views because it generally stays the same for the main layout. Then we have our views here. We have create account, create exercise, create split, stack, workout, the home view, which will show you your current workout, and then the login view. And then we have our database as well. So if we load up the app here, and I saved my information in there for now to make it easier for debugging. But we come to the login partial view, and it's basically two inputs and two buttons. We can either log in or we can create an account. If we log in, that's going to run our switch view, or if we click new account, right, that's going to run our switch view. That's how we're navigating through everything here. And this is our home view here, so we get the date, and we can see that today we have planned a basic leg day with squats, lunges, calf raises, and hip thrusts. And then we can go to our create view here, which has some partial views here. So we can create an exercise, a workout, a split, or a stack, and that's done using these inputs depending on what you're on. So exercise has two text and a couple drop downs, and then workout will have a few things related directly to the workout. So name, description, estimated length, and difficulty. And then it has these exercise drop downs, which include the exercises. So if we were to add a new exercise here, we will see that pop up in the drop down for the exercises, so then we can add it to a workout. Once we create a couple workouts, we can head on over to the create split view. And this is basically over a 1 week period, what days would you be doing certain workouts? So for a while, you might be doing like a push-pull legs is pretty common. So um, we could do a basic push day, a basic pull day, and a basic leg day. We could say that as a split. I already have a split called push-pull legs, so I won't save that here, but that's kind of the idea, is setting up what a 1 week period would look like for workouts. And then the stack is going to be how long you're going to run a specific split. So you enter in a start date and end date, and you select your split. Of course, if we added a new split, it would show up in our stack here, our split drop down for the stack. And we would enter those dates, and then, at that time, it would take into account on our home screen what stack we have available and if we have a workout for that split. So that is the front end for the app here. And so again, we're just moving around with the switch view. We are building our classes of exercises, which most of the exercise, split, stack, and workout have two constructors. One for when we're originally making the exercise to upload it. It doesn't include the ID, but when we pull it back down, we do get that ID. And then we have some getters and setters for that as well. Partial view just has a couple of components like name and title. And then our view also has a title as well. So for these drop-down components, they extend to the JConvo box. We go ahead and get the names of the item that we want in the drop-down box. So this is the exercise drop-down. We're getting all the exercise names, and then we're putting them in that drop-down. That's pretty similar for split and workout drop-down as well. The main header is pretty consistent throughout. That could have probably just been in the main layout, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be changing it up, so I made it a component. The panel navigation takes the buttons and it puts it in that row when you're in the create screen. So this is creating the navigation here, so you can get to the different partial views to create different things. And again, it's using that switch view to show the content. The sidebar menu is taking in an array of buttons and then creating that sidebar view. I apologize, I keep closing it. So over here, we can add more to that as the app expands pretty easily using that sidebar partial view. So our login controller Pretty straightforward. It is checking the password where the username is what you entered, and then uh, if you're good to go, it'll show the home view. Otherwise, it's going through some error handling there. And the database controller is really the heartbeat of this. It's really pretty a data heavy app. So we have some connection stuff up at the top. Then again, you'll see some of these that are returning the list of strings. Those are the ones we're using for the drop downs. And then we have some that are getting individual exercises, workouts. This one gets today's workout for the home screen. Get an individual split, get all the split names for the split drop down. This one sets new exercises, set new workout, set new split, and set the new stack. And then we have our closed connection. Again, the layouts are just JPanels, and they give it a little bit of structure that we're using in the front end there. And then the views are mostly pretty similar here. This is going to be the content that shows up aside from the banner up top. So the login view and the create account view does not have the navigation. Once you log in, you get the navigation here. If you go into create, you get the navigation here as well. But it's mostly this part that's being created by the partial views. So they are pretty similar. They're JPanels, which these are extending to view, which extends to JPanel. And then we are using mostly a grid bag layout on these to structure our inputs. So you can see they have a pretty similar structure where we're creating the inputs, then we're adding them to the grid bag, and then we are adding our button at the bottom, usually, which does some stuff for us, either mostly creating the different types of classes and inserting them into the database, and then switching the view over to be a fresh view. Usually you land on the same view. So if you're on the create exercise view and you submit, it goes through, you end up with a new create exercise view where the inputs are blank. So you don't keep it submitting the same exercise over and over again. So pretty similar with split, stack, workout. Home view is a little bit different, where it is creating the list of today's workout name, as well as showing the different exercises for that workout. And then the login partial view is that login. So that is pretty much how Stack Daddy is running today. I appreciate your time and look forward to hearing any feedback you have for me. Thank you.